So as of today, Clowney is still a free agent. Although the stats don't say it, he had a pretty good season last year as he had around 30 QB pressures and 13 QB hits with only 3 sacks. Clowney is currently, in my opinion, one of the best defensive ends slash outside linebackers in the league. Although he's never hit over 10 sacks. That's not all he's good for. He's good in the run game, and he's weirdly can get an interception if you just drop him out in coverage. He did that in the playoffs once against the Raiders, and then he got a pick 6 last year. He's asking for a lot of money though. He asked for $20 million at the beginning of free agency. The Dolphins had offered him 18.5, and I know a couple other teams offered him some money. And right now, the betting odds favorites are the Seattle Seahawks at plus 150, Colts at 200, Titans at 400, Giants 500, Eagles 600, Dolphins 900, and Ravens 1400. To eliminate some teams from this, the Giants are out. Dave Gettleman said he's not willing to pay a pass rusher, 18 to 20 million. The Ravens are out. I just don't think they'll do it. The Eagles are iffy, and I feel like the only teams that will pay him that is the Seahawks, Colts, Titans, and Dolphins. The Seahawks, Clowney said he is interested in going back there, but I can see him going to the Colts. That's my number one. Like, if I had to put odds, like if I was in this Las Vegas betting odds, I'd put the Colts at 1, but I think he will end up re-signing with the Seahawks, but I feel like the Colts would be the best for him because they can pay him the most money. They have $28 million in cap space still, and the Titans have $20 million in cap space. I don't know how much the Dolphins have, but I could see him going there since they already offered him 18.5. But the Seahawks declined to offer him, I think it was 16.5 million, something like that. They didn't want to offer him that, so I don't know if he'll go back to the Seahawks, but I could see him going back. But again, the Colts are the number one to me, and then I'd say the Seahawks, then the Dolphins, and the Titans. But the Titans would be smart because they have Vic Beasley, who just a couple years ago, 2016, led the league in sacks. He's a good player. It's just, I mean, honestly, is he a good player though? Is he? Because he did have just only one good season. Pretty sure he had another year where he had like 8 sacks, which isn't bad. But like, I don't know. We'll have to see how he does with the Titans. But I guess a new team could be like a revival for him. The Dolphins, they just need star players. Honestly, they got 2 in the draft, which is good. Who else do they have on that defensive line? Christian Wilkins. Yeah, but like they don't really have a good pass rusher. So if the Dolphins get him, that'd be huge for them. The Colts, they could line him up with Justin Houston. Titans line him up with Vic Beasley, and they just released Jarrell Casey earlier, who signed with the Broncos. And the Seahawks desperately need a pass rusher, as they don't really have a ton on their team. They have a couple, but like they're not like insane. They're not as good as Clowney. And like I said earlier, Clowney's stats aren't as good as he is. Because, I mean, with the Texans, he had J.J. Watt, who was injured actually a lot of the time. I mean, Clowney wasn't the healthiest person himself. Played 4 games his rookie year, 13 the next, then 14, then 16, which is when he had his best season, then 15. And last year, he only played 13. So, that's another risk with Clowney. He might get injured for you. Are you really going to pay an injury-prone defensive end slash linebacker that much money? I don't know. I feel like if I were a team, most I'd give him is like 15 mil. But also, I'm not a GM, obviously. So I don't know what GMs are thinking. I know some of them don't want to sign him, like the Giants. But, I don't know. I just don't think it'd be smart for a team to give an injury-prone defensive end that much money. He's good, but is he really that good? Like, is he worth 18 million to just give you QB pressures? Not even get the sacks, which is like what really matters. Because I mean, QB pressure is probably an incomplete ball, but you don't know that for a fact unless you watch every game and look at every pressure he has. Obviously, I didn't watch every Seahawks game or every Texans game because I'm not a Seahawks or Texans fan. But like, most of those passes are probably incomplete. Yeah, that's cool. But every team wants the loss of yardage, the potential fumble, the potential touchdown even. Maybe. but, probably not. Maybe even a safety, but we'll just have to see what teams like with him. Like, if they are disregarding the injury, disregarding the low sack numbers throughout his career. His most is 9.5. That's not bad by any means. But, like, you really just want someone who can get you that 12, 14 sacks for that amount of money. I don't know. I feel like in the right scheme, Clowney could get a lot of sacks. It's just last year there was just so much attention on him from offenses that it definitely was harder for him to get sacks, because in Houston they couldn't do that, because when JJ Watt was healthy, they had to look at him. Plus they have Whitney Merciless, who's also been a double-digit sack person in his career. But, like, if he went to a team like the Seahawks, where he was only the real dominant pass rusher, he's not going to get the sacks you want. Like, no matter how well you scheme him, it's not like Aaron Donald, where even if Aaron Donald's double teamed, he's just going to get through the offensive line. Even triple teamed sometimes. Like Aaron Donald's another case of just a amazing athlete. The fact that he can get through triple teams is just crazy. Even double, triple teams. But Clowney, I don't think he's proven he can do that to the level of someone like an Aaron Donald, like a JJ Watt. And they're making they're making a lot of money. How much is Aaron Donald making? Aaron Donald is making 22.5, and JJ Watt is making $100 million over 6 years. As of when was that contract signed? That contract was signed in I don't know when. I can't find it. He's just making a lot of money. Well, I think it was 2015. Like those people are worth that kind of money. The people that can get you that sack numbers. But Clowney, he doesn't get you the sacks, like I've said multiple times. He's good. He's great defensive end. Deserving of, I'd say like 13 million, 15 million at most. But the 18.5 that he wants to the 20 that he wanted at first, he's just not worth it. I see him getting maybe at most a 2-year deal with the Colts. That's it. I don't see him getting I don't see him getting a longer deal at all. Because he has to prove himself. Like with the sacks. Because the QB pressures and QB hits are cool. But like teams want that loss of yardage, potential turnover. However, I think he will end up getting the money he wants. The 17, 18 million. Just due to the fact that teams that have cap space, who really need a pass rusher, like the Colts, they have Justin Houston, got 11 sacks last year. But or the Seahawks, I could see them giving him that money just because of their need. But from pure skill, I don't think he's worth it. And these odds are April 29th, by the way, which is 2 weeks ago, but there's no more updated odds. But Jadeveon Clowney is worth to an actual team is 13 to 15 million per year. I'd say he should get a 3-year deal, but he's going to get a 1 or 2. Just due to the fact that he needs to prove himself with the numbers, because that's what teams are looking for. They're looking for the sacks, and the pressures are cool. But again, like I've said twice throughout this video, the sacks are what matters most. And Clowney just needs to get that. Like I said, not over 10 sacks in any season. He's played 16 games once, which is key. He's played 16 games once. 15 is also fine. 14 is fine, but I'd say if you're missing 3+ games, that's that's bad for your team. Just because those 3 games, what if you made a big play? They could make the playoffs based off of those 3 games that you were in it. Especially if you're a player like Clowney, who has that good of a presence on the defensive line. You need to be there for your team, healthy. He probably played through injury through some of those games too. just like I said, didn't watch the Texans those years because I live in Massachusetts. I'm not going to watch a Texans game. But yeah, basically Clowney just needs to prove himself. That's about it from me.